First of all, I'd like to say something about Robert Burns, myself, and William Wallace, Robert Bruce. What have we got in common? We're all born in Ayrshire, despite the fact that Renfrewshire claims they were born in Ellerslie in Renfrewshire. It was actually Ellerslie in Kilmarnock, so that's a claim to claim. So there you go. Also, I think Burns himself was a hero in his own time, in his own way. As much as Bruce, as much as Wallace, his voice is resounding still throughout the world. How many Burns societies, how many songs are sung about Robert Burns in every country in the world? I've got the privilege to been to 51 countries in my life, and every time you mention Robert Burns, it always exude his philosophies, his education. One of the things that is impressive about Robert Burns is education itself. At that time, believe it or not, Scotland was the second most literate country in Europe, second to Sweden. Okay, and the reason for that is is every female was educated to the same level as males. There was no differentiation. That made a massive difference. Also, he was born as a lowly bowman, okay? He was self-educated by himself and his father, went to the local school, etc., very Presbyterian outlook. But he recognised the hypocrisy of society at that time, both from the church, which was ultra-Presbyterian, and indeed the political scene. But he was no fool, so he used satire, he used humour to attack them in such a way which we can all recognise today. If I was to ask people in Glasgow here if they could recite 4 Robert Burns' poems or songs, I think they would struggle. It's an abomination, it's terrible, it's an embarrassment. See, I was born in Ayrshire, Kilmarnock, and we were brought up to speak Broad Scots dialect. I can speak Broad Scots dialect. My older daughter was a Scottish champion for bird recital at 11 years old because it was all encouraged. Now, that history and that culture lives on in his work, and it should do, and we have to embrace that and look at how he acted and how he brought the image of Scotland to the world. Okay, we all know about New Year's, when the New Year comes along, we sing the 1st of January, everyone in the world sings us a Burns song, and they all know it, etc. But how many people here have read things like The Twa Dogs? The Twa Dogs is a genius poem. It's about 2 dogs meeting in the street. One was from a very wealthy family who was a privileged dog's life, and another one was a wee mongrel who, in the conversation about society, about how they were perceived, how life was about, and the hypocrisy that both sides of society were controlled by. It's an epic, and people don't know about it. He wrote over 350 different songs and poems. Please, if you get a chance, go out and read some of the poems he actually wrote and look at his life. When he was brought up in Ayrshire, he was very poor, and he wrote a book. He was actually going to go to Jamaica to become an overseer, okay, which was criticised for that. He never went there. That was to pay off his debts because there's a disaster in farming in South Ayrshire and Dumfriesshire. However, he wrote this poetry book called Poems in the Scottish Dialect, instant success. And I was invited to Edinburgh to speak to some of the high society. The first time he ever walked in a carpet was when he went to Edinburgh, believe it or not. So, however, it was treated like a bit of a plaything by the Edinburgh society. So he came back to Ayrshire, etc., and what's the happened after that. He was also a bit of a womanizer, as we know too, okay, and a bit of an alcoholic in some ways. In fact, one of the reasons he died, he got consumption because he fell asleep steaming drunk at the side of the road one night and just basically consumption.
Who hasn't?
As you do. However, British society, I think, recognised Burns as a potential problem. So he was advised by his doctor, who was influenced by Westminster, to then bathe in the ocean, the sea, the Irish Sea, every day. So imagine what you could do to the Irish Sea and bathe your consumption. No, it's unbelievable, it's Baltic. So, but he attacked society in such a way that people are frightened. Again, William's like Holy Wally's prayer. You know what it's about? It's about a hypocrite of the church. It's a Holy Wally who saw himself as a pious man, and yet goes out fornicating and getting drunk all the time. You said the hypocrisy is unbelievable. So what I'd like to do is just maybe read a couple of poems. That's the work okay? Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you will. Okay. I've done classes by the way. So we have to go with that. But you know, some you might be the ones who pronounce the ones. That's the ones I need. This is one, okay. Okay. Why should we idly waste our time repeating our oppressions? Come rouse to arms, and 'tis now the time to punish past digressions. 'Tis said that kings can do no wrong, and murderous deeds deny it. And since from us their power is sprung, we have the right to try it. Now each to patriot's song shall be, welcome death or liberty. Proud priests and bishops will translate, and canonize as martyrs. The guillotine on peers shall wait, and knights shall hang in garters. Those despots long have trod us down, and judgments are their engines. Such wretched minions for a crown demand the people's vengeance. Today 'tis theirs, tomorrow we shall don the cap of liberty. The golden age will then revive, each man will be a brother. In harmony we all shall live and share the earth together. In virtue trained, enlightened youth will love each fellow creature, and future years shall prove the truth that man is good by nature. And let us toast with 3 times 3, the reign of peace and liberty. Now they're profound words, and again, I don't know if I heard that one as well. But I think, I'm going to take one more, and I don't want to bore you, okay? Again, one of the famous Williams Robert Burns. Now, people say he was, some people say he was a unionist, because a Freemason and all that stuff. Okay, what a load of rubbish. He was a total patriot, and people say, oh, Freemasons are things like that, and they're all unionists. What a load of rubbish, okay? So, however, he started what was called in Bolton, beside Washington Bolton, a gentleman's club, basically a bunch of philandering guys. You have heard this point before, but think of the words. Scots we hae, we Wallace bled, Scots some roosted after lead, welcome to your gory bed, or to victory. Now's the day, now's the hour, see the front of battle hour, welcome, see approach by bedless power, changing slavery. What will be a traitor knave, walk and fill a coward's grave, what's it base to be a slave, let him turn and flee. What for Scotland's king and law, freedom's sword and strongly draw, free man stand or free man fall, let him follow me. By oppressions, woes and pains, by your sons in servile chains, we will drain our dearest veins, but they shall be free. Lay the proud usurpers low, tyrants fall in every foe, liberties in every blow, let us do our deed. To work and live all the world, etc. Every time you speak to people abroad, Americans, Canadians, all nationalities, you live in Mexico for years and that, the same thing too. They all exude the stories of Robert Burns, think it's amazing. Every country has Burns societies. Every country you go to. And we are privileged as a nation to have someone who's patriotic with that, but it's a scandal that our youth, and when I was young as well, I was lucky to come from that because I was taught about it, but most of the youth in Scotland are not taught about Burns. They're not educated about Burns. Then again, they're not educated about so many other things. All the laws that suppressed our country for so many hundreds of years, horrendous. Yeah, but that's what's the Alien Act? How many people know the Alien Act?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The Navigation Act?
Yeah.
There you go. We'll done that later. Okay. What percentage in Glasgow? Nothing. And Burns, what's Burns done? He has kept the image and the culture of Scotland alive globally. And we should be proud of that. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much.